Hello and welcome everybody to the first show of the Over and Over Again review extra time. My name's Steve and my good partner here that's online with me is Sean. Sean, say hello to everybody.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Hello, everyone.
Short and sweet, that's what we like to see. We'll be going through a whole load of stuff today, and the idea of the show is we're going to keep it nice and short. We're going to look at the things that are going on, but of course, it's the beginning of the season, Sean. It's only 4 days away, mate.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming. 2 secs. Awesome. Here we go. So Sean, a couple of things we're going to go through today as we've been discussing. And by the way, you are the co-host of the show. I just wanted everybody to know that. We're going to have a look back I thought we'd have a little look back at last season. Have a look at some of the goal pieces that have been going on. You know, as we've discussed, maybe have a little look at some of the outgoings that are coming along. Want to obviously have our Arsenal cap prediction as well. See what we're thinking for Friday as we kick off, and again look at some potentials that are coming in. So without further ado, let me just hand it over. So Sean, what are you thinking? What's your views of last season, mate? We did a lot of games together. We went and saw a lot of things. We got very drunk, of course, when we battered Tottenham at the Emirates, and everybody seems to forget that.
Well,
just want to say,
they do get battered everywhere they go, and that's what I've heard.
That's apparently so.
There was a lot of disappointment at the end of the season. I know. There was a lot of feeling that it didn't, like Arsenal had gone wrong somewhere, and I don't quite see it that way. I'd watched throughout the entire season as I watched not a steady progression, but actually quite a quick progression from being a team that could look lost at times. I mean, we both went to that 0-0 Burnley game, which you and I will never get that 90 minutes back.
And 85 quid in tickets. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'll be thinking about the 90 minutes that will be on my deathbed when I will be like, I could have done with that 90 minutes.
Absolutely.
And it seemed like Arsenal had gone back 3 years in time.
Yeah.
It was like watching a side that was repeating mistakes of past history, just couldn't score. It wasn't even just couldn't score. They didn't even really muster any efforts. But then, like you've referred to, the Tottenham game that we went to, where there was hope, wasn't there? Because I think a lot of us went to that game thinking that was not going to turn out well, because Tottenham had a great start to the season and it was looking not great. And really, 3-1 was very flattering to them that day. And I think the season actually, in its own way, was a success. And I think we'll see that this year.
Yeah.
Because without the season just gone, yes, Champions League football would have been great. Of course, it would have been great. Some buys may have come in that could have been easier to get. But I also think that some buys have come in that I didn't expect to get. Zinchenko and Jesus, I did not expect them to come in the door. I thought they would only be people that would turn up if there was Champions League football. Now, I think Champions League football is very much on the table this year. I think Arsenal will get it. I'm confident in that, and I'd lay my cards on the table in saying that. I think that looking around the league, I think Man United are frankly hopeless, and I don't think a new manager. Well, they are. They won't. Arsenal, I would say 3-4 years ago, or maybe when Arteta came in the door, accepted where they were, and started again. Liverpool did it when Dalglish came in the second time. Man City did it when they realised that they, even 3-4 years into having them new owners, they realised you can't just buy this. It's not possible. You have to clear the decks. You have to go right from the bottom. And that's how Arsenal's ended up having, as we'll talk about in a bit, with some of the names actually going out, people that are from the academies. They're from the under-19s. You know, they're going to be not just off the wage bill, but they're going to be completely in the black sales because, you know, from a financial fair play point of view, that kind of thing is absolutely golden. You know, it's so I don't think last season was that. It was disappointing, but I don't think it was a failure at all.
I think, you know, when we look at, I've got some stats here actually. So we look at, I think towards the end it was capitulation, for sure. You know, I was at the Newcastle game and they were just totally overrun by a team that you know were in the same sort of rebuild. And again, and I totally agree. I totally agree. I believe that we've come on leaps and bounds. There are others that don't. I'm hearing a lot of negativity right now. So when I'm looking on Twitter, I'm looking at some of the Twitter feature. I'm seeing some interesting conversational pieces around the Man City rejects, you know, the boys that are on the subs bench, all of this type of nonsense. And I think it's a little bit unfair.
Winners, though. The serial winners.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So we scored. So last season, right, we scored 61 goals, right, and 34 of those goals actually came from our midfield, like a dominant play. How many goals do you think Jesus scored as this so-called, you know, on the bench, you know, rejects or whatever? How many do you think he scored from the bench?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I bet it's double figures.
Not quite. It's 8 goals he scored from the bench, goals. Just in the Premier League, right? And that would have actually put him as our third highest scorer. You know, so you got Saka. You know, we got Saka with 11, Smith Rowe with 10, Odegaard with 7. So you know, and you've got Gabby hitting 6 in. So 8, he would have actually been quite one of our highest scorers. So when I listen to all of this nonsense around, you know, bench warmers and pieces like that, you know, that second team will get into, you know, the Man City second team will get into anybody's first team, to be honest with you. So yeah. I tend to agree. When I look at the stats, I look at the piece. The thing we're crying out for is obviously the striker, and he's done that. Still think we need one more.
That's been quite a few years. You know, yes, I mean, who would you say is the last? Now, when we're talking about striker, we're talking about somebody who actually has very little interest in what else goes on the pitch.
Yeah.
And is all about goals. Who's the last person?
The only guy I can think of, like, you know, Sanchez, Giroud, those types of people can really care less. You know,
they're not. Yeah, but their record doesn't say out and out goal scorer. You know, no. Sanchez, to be fair to him, was very much a provider as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Giroud. Yeah. I mean, he's one of these strikers that don't score goals, which to me is like a boat that don't float.
Sounds like Lacazette towards the end.
I think that, yeah. Well, no, I like Lacazette, but I think he seemed like a person working in a shop who just had too many jobs to do.
Exactly.
It wasn't quite. Yeah, if he had any hair, he would have been tearing it out by the end. Because I just think he seemed like the brain was telling him to do something that the body wasn't doing anymore.
And I think, age just caught up on him, and you know, like
he seemed done happy after Aubameyang gone as well.
Yeah. Once he's busy, mate.
Well, and again, I know there's a lot of conflicting opinion about that. I personally think it was absolutely the right decision. I don't care if he's banging goals in for Barcelona. It doesn't matter. He was banging goals in when he first came to Arsenal. It didn't stay that way.
No.
You know, if you've got somebody, if you're unhappy as a sports star, you have to remain professional. It doesn't matter how much you're being paid. And if it disrupts everything else in your squad or the authority of the manager, then they've got to go.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And I'm of the opinion there's a lot of people I see sort of tweeting out. Pete put a picture out the other day of when I think it's when he won the FA Cup. The whole team. That went out today, and everybody's like, "Oh bloody hell! Look, got it till the very end." No, he wasn't. Like, you know, what he was a spoiled rich millionaire, and to me, that chapter's closed. He was brilliant when we had him. Now that's gone. Now he's playing with Lewandowski in Barcelona. Yeah. So
the only disappointment for me is that he went for nothing.
Yes.
That
oh God, that's another conversation, isn't it, Sean? That's another part. My apologies. I'm sitting outside today, so there's lots of motorbikes going by. So look, you know, mate, and that's the other part is we can't seem to sell anybody for anything like less than more than £4. If you got £4,
Well,
you can buy most of the Arsenal players.
I think that brings us to our next thing, then, doesn't it? And some of the who is going out.
Just want to hold it. Just one quick one there, Sean. So you're saying top four? You're saying top four? Where
top
would
three.
you? Top three? Top three?
I think I think it'll be Man City and Liverpool at the top again. Anybody? And by the way, just quickly on the Jesus thing, name me a team in the Premier League, if you think about the order in which they finished last year, below Liverpool, that he wouldn't get in their team.
Yeah,
I don't think there is one. Chelsea would play him.
So
everyone below would as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to play him. We're going to play him a lot. We'll talk about the.
He's such a perfect setup for him. I'll turn around and go, you want to be a striker? Because he kept getting played on the left. He's a striker. The striker doesn't, we're going back a few years now. Gary Lineker went to Barcelona. Lineker is one of the best goal scorers of our lifetime. All right, he played for Tottenham, but but we all watched him play. We know that he was an absolute bang-on goal scorer. He went to Barcelona. Cruyff played him out on the wing. And he wasn't happy there, and he couldn't stick it. He was so depressed he had to go and play for Tottenham.
Well, look, at the end of the day, when you get used to failure, that's the place to go. And I felt, by the way, I just want to say massive well done to the Lionesses. What a game. Oh, wow. Love the fact that tops are being pulled off. Shame there was bras on there. Sorry, don't want to be sexist. And then I think the most touching part for me was to see Harry Kane giving sort of motivational little speech to the Lionesses, on what abject failure really looks like and why you needed to win that thing, because when the biggest thing that you've ever done in your whole of your career is the Audi Cup, best pitch in a Premiership, kind of says it all really. That's why they went out with. Well done, Harry. I wanted to say that on there. So you're saying top three.
No, it was. Just quickly on the women's success, Arsenal player lifting the trophy, Arsenal player top goal scorer of the tournament.
What can we say? What can we say? May continue on,
and it will. I honestly believe it will. I think you have to strike when the iron's hot in football. That's why I think the England men's team has this World Cup and the next European Championship, and after that there may be a fallow period because you only get X amount of tournaments in a generation where if you can be the best. And I think that well done to them. They were absolutely head and shoulders above everyone in that tournament, and it turns out that we really like playing Scandinavian teams
and smashing big goals in past them.
Yeah,
so that was hats off to the girls. Hats off to the girls for that. So, where do you think we're going to end up in the Europa League, mate? How far what would be good? Obviously, winning it is what we want, but realistically, where do you think we'll end up from there?
Okay, I think possibly a quarter-final. I hope they bin it off in the first. I hope they just play a second-string team and hope to go out. I know that if you win the tournament, you get a Champions League place automatically, and that obviously is, that's what everyone's after at the end of the day. But you have to sacrifice a lot of your season to do it.
Yeah,
and as we've already referred to, the Newcastle game and the Tottenham game previous to it, which you and I watched together, that looked like a very tired team.
Yeah, totally agree.
And they couldn't. They did. Capitulated makes it sound like there's something they could have done about it. I think they were just a tired team, and sometimes this is professional sport. It's marginal gains. The thing that Arsene Wenger brought to the table, nearly 30 years ago now. It's that tight. Look at Tottenham went out of what were they playing in the two Bob conference?
I think they were thrown out, weren't they? Just thrown out for just being miserable, I think, or something like that.
But my point is, they went out in the first round.
Yeah,
and look at how strong they came on at the end, and I don't think it is a coincidence. Yes, we got more strength in depth this year. I think that having a look at who we're loaning out as well, a second string side is going to be very thin, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is strength and depth in certain positions. Ones where I think Arsenal need to look possibly a little bit closer, maybe even January window. But I mean, for the moment, the signings they got in already, you can't be unhappy with that.
I'm sort of looking at Zinchenko. Obviously, he's going to offer a lot of cover for old Biscuit Hips on the left.
I think he's going to be more than cover. I think he'll lose his first team place.
You think so?
I think Zinchenko is better than.
I just, when I look at the way this is going to kind of go and the way it's going to come together, I just see him actually more of a Xhaka replacement, working that midfield. I genuinely think I've seen a lot of negativity around Kieran Tierney.
Listen, there's nothing negative about the way Kieran Tierney plays. Kieran Tierney is a brilliant footballer.
I love him. Love him to bits.
Listen, you know how highly I speak of him. I remember watching him back when he was at Celtic. Rated him very highly. Think Arsenal got him for a steal for 25 million. But he does get injured a lot.
Absolutely.
So if you lose your place and the team is winning, what do? You can't. Momentum is massive.
Yeah, having Zinchenko there, I think, is absolutely brilliant. It's a real good steal for us. I mean, so as we look at it, so it's really good. Melvin's turning around and saying they're semis, right, for us.
I'm definitely more than capable.
Yeah. I think we're more than capable to win it with the team that we've got, and it's about everybody staying fit. And I think that's where the five subs in the Prem are going to help us as we start to go through.
When they have to dump out from Champions League, that's when you sort of left. That's when it becomes a thing of right. Okay, who gets? Because like last year, you had Barcelona getting dumped out of the group stage of Champions League, didn't you? So they ended up being in the Europa.
But the idea is, mate, if we're a top 3 team, these are the teams that we've got to play. This is what we've got to be up against. And I'm feeling bullish. I would like personally to see us get to the finals. But I'm with Melvin. I think the semi-finals would be good. I think top 4 for me, I'd be over the moon with. Back in the Champions League and definitely finishing above Tottenham this season. Again, it's been way too long that those guys have been giving us too much of that.
My honest belief is that I know it seems a bit starry, but I think Arsenal could get third. I think that Chelsea they're going to have a difficult year.
I don't think so. I think Chelsea will. The only thing is, it depends on who they get from a defensive perspective. I still think that's an exceptionally strong team. But I'm listening to it.
They've lost their best defender.
They they have done, and thank the Lord that he's not about anymore, because that guy terrorised us all the time.
They signed in Koulibaly, who is obviously a very good player, but he's untested in the Premier League, and we've seen that can be a problem.
Well, look, here's a great one. Again, we look at the stats on that. Our Gabriel scored 5 goals. He's a top, as I said, and that oh my God, with the whole thing with what's their faces? The Italian guys coming in for him at 40 million. And by the way, you can buy him, Milo, whatever. You can't give Milo away. So Arthur Milo, you can't give that player away, no matter how good everybody says he is. Coming in tomorrow. I think he's the heartbeat. Got Saliba back as well. Absolutely brilliant combination. We've got obviously Ben White is back. What is still worrying is Emil Smith Rowe's got that injury that's continued on. You've seen that in pre-season. Although he's training, that's a big loss to us. But I was looking at some stats on that Vieira. On him. I mean, admittedly, I'm not disrespecting I'm about to disrespect the Portuguese league.
It sounds like you're going to do that.
I'm about to go in there. He does look like he looks to me like a Odegaard backup as well. So when I look at him, I watch it. It's just an Odegaard backup that sits there. He's pinpoint accuracy on that ball is phenomenal. From what I've seen, I yet to see him in a Premiership, on a cold night at West Brom, when it's freezing cold and pissing down with rain. But genuinely, I think that was as a utility player across that midfield. Remember, 34 goals there. He's going to be pivotal. Will he start? I have no idea. But that
No, I
leads us
wouldn't
on,
think
mate.
he'll start. But
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because we cannot run Saka into the ground as we've done before. We can't do that. It's just not going to
no,
happen.
no. Otherwise, he's going to end up getting a bad injury, and
Yeah,
we've been here
yeah.
before.
Most fouled player. But yeah, good point, Melvin. Yeah, so Melvin's just come up on the comment section to around if we've got 5 subs, so they'll rotate round. But it's the outgoings I think that are interesting now. And I want to talk about Tielemans. So remind me about Tielemans. You know what my brain's like. So obviously we've seen Tavares go off to Marseille. Now I've got a fee, and I'm prepared to put my what's it's on the block right now. I don't think we'll ever see Tavares in a Arsenal shirt again. I think that's it. It's time for him to go. I think the manager's made his mind up. They took a risk on him. It hasn't worked out.
Well, Tavares is off to Marseille, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And Balogun looks like they're about to sort out the Reims loan deal. Now there's a few outgoings here that I think some are over the line, some are not. So if you give me a nudge if they're not, but so you've got some names that you and I spoke about earlier. So if we start with Lucas Torreira.
Yes. Oh, he's Galatasaray. I don't get it. I don't get Galatasaray. I think missed opportunity, could have done so much more for us, but that was never in the plans. I mean, we saw him a couple of times, didn't we? And we liked him. I liked him as a player. I like Lucas Torreira. I thought he was a good, strong. I mean, admittedly, he was a little bit mini me, but then so was Dennis Wise.
I think he's one of them that he came along at a time. So we watched him just before he signed for Arsenal, didn't we, in the 2018 World Cup? You came around my house and we watched Uruguay against Portugal, I think it was.
That's it, yeah.
And we were like, well, we like the look of him. He's a little terrier.
Yeah.
But the problem is it hasn't worked out. He's been across 2 different managers, both of which look like, I mean, the first one bought him and then didn't fancy him, and then Arteta, it just wasn't his player.
He never settled into London, apparently. So I've heard that from 3 or 4 different sources. They said he's just never settled into.
I hear that, but he was loaned to Atletico Madrid and Fiorentina. Now, Florence and Madrid are not exactly small cities, so as far as that goes, but then Uruguayan players, some South American players have always preferred to be in Spain. Or
sunnier climes, same language as well. So there's a language piece that sits behind it. So I can totally understand that.
Yeah, and even with Fiorentina, the Italian game, if you watch it, it does suit his way of playing. I mean, what I would say is that it is 3.9 million a year in wages that he's being paid. It's also he's got a market value of 18 million right now, which. We bought him for 25.7.
We sold it for 7 or something. That's Sonili. So that was Sonili, though. That was the times when he was doing it, giving all the backhanders in. But again, as a player, I think he could have been so much more for us, but it hasn't worked out. So I wish him. I don't wish him any. I haven't got any negativity towards him in any way whatsoever.
Not particularly,
I think, as a player.
I don't wish any negativity towards him, but this is where I think Arsenal do need to improve in this department. This is something where now you know me, I don't say a lot negative about Arsenal. I try to err on the positive and be realistic. I don't.
Stop my blood pressure going up.
No, but the one area where I wish they would do better is in the ingoings and outgoings, because the club has sometimes found itself in a bit of a financial mess because its sales and buying technique, shall we say, is not the greatest. I mean, what I will say about Torreira is we got 5,260 minutes out of him.
Yeah.
Right. Now, altogether with what we possibly going to get for him and his wages, that works out as £5,663 a minute.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it don't seem like good business, does it?
No. So time for him to move on. Galatasaray. I was like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I
Maybe he just
do.
likes the sun.
Again,
Maybe he
it's a
likes the
fiery
sun.
game. It's a fiery
Maybe.
game. It suits
And
him perfectly. He'll be sent off 60 to 70 times before the end of his career, I'm sure. But so Lucas Torreira, wish him all the best. But it's very much his
off
time
you
to
go.
move on. So next up, go on.
The one that pisses me off the most, right? That honestly upsets me the most is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Right. There is a great football. Well, there's a great footballer there that I believe is ensconced in a massive ego. Didn't want to play right back, could have had that. Wanted to play in the middle of midfield, went to, and depends on what our view of Mourinho is. Went over to Roma and basically fucks it up. Just didn't actually bring the goods, didn't actually bring the performance, didn't actually bring the drive, didn't bring the game, all that. None of that on the field. So no one wants him. So there was a Forest that looked at him. That apparently they were interested in him. Then turned around and said not interested.
Well, Forest. Well, that's gone to and fro. So we don't really know about that. And I'm pretty sure of Arsenal. So he's got market value of 9 million right now.
Yeah. Lucky to get 2.
Forest would want him for cheaper. Also, he gets 2.7 million a year.
Yeah.
Which. He's got no right to be earning those wages.
No, not good enough.
This all goes back to that under-20 World Cup that he won.
Yeah.
He was tipped for good and big things. Rightfully so as well, because he's not a bad player, Steve. But the problem is you look, never lasts. I would say his professionalism is not great. He's gone to Roma, where he's played 12 games, right? All season, 12 games. That's not a lot, is it?
No.
He was on loan at West Bromwich Albion, 15 games. He was on loan at Ipswich, and this is where it looked like he might have made a bit of headway when, Arsenal tried to bring him back and see if there was something there where he played 32 games. But it's just never happened. It's just never happened. And if they can offload him to Forest, or even Roma, because Jose Mourinho.
Mourinho doesn't want him. He's already said he doesn't want him. So the kid unfortunately has amazing talent. Probably got some bad advisors around him that are driving him and pushing him. But he frustrates me so much. At the end of the day,
he's played 132 games for Arsenal.
And is that including his
altogether right from the start?
Right from the beginning. So all the way through the under 21s and all that stuff.
No.
That was it.
Yeah,
3 goals, he's been around
8 assists.
He's been around for an absolute age as well. So again,
came in young, didn't he? No.
Yeah, bit of an attitude. I just think it's ego. I just think it's ego again. Doing all that sort of stuff. So,
do you think if Arteta had got hold of him, say Arteta had come in when Maitland-Niles was at the beginning, it could have been different. Because I think he's needed someone to be a lot harsher with him.
Yeah,
and I think the likes of Unai Emery, not really a strong hand, and probably again looked at some of these players like these aren't my players. No. Stick him out on loan. I don't want to deal with it. Which financially does seem to make sense, but they are still technically on your wage bill.
Yeah, they're on the bottom line. So I just think his times it's gone. He's going to go the same way as what's the guy? Tottenham midfielder. Absolutely loved himself.
Walker
Peters was all right. What's his name? Played for England. Oh my lord, I can see his face. It's one of the ones you can never go try to slap in.
Dave Bentley.
Don't even say that name. Don't even say that name. Anyway, it will come to me. Let's just move on.
Let's not spend time thinking about Tottenham midfielders. I think we could, because there was interest in him from Everton last year.
That's Fat Frank's not going to have him. So Frank's not going to.
You say that, but if you're gonna let's look at this like trying to sell a dodgy second car. If we're going to offload him on someone, and possibly get some money, then Everton.
Yeah.
We have dumped some absolutely shocking stuff.
There is true. Yeah, I got to think of Walcott right there.
Walcott,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
Away
T.O.
team.
Awobi. That was a good bit of business. That.
I mean, they are driving around rusty Cortinas up there. And anyway, next up, Pepe.
Oh, where do we go from there? That was the biggest. That was another Sunili. So it's interesting. This is Mislintat. You know when Mislintat
You and
came
I
in.
have argued about this player a lot.
Oh God! So all of Mislintat's players. This is the guy. This was the guru. He had the network. The whole lot. They're all gone now. But Pepe is one that just.
It's lightweight.
Oh my Lord! I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's attitude. I don't know whether it's drive. Whether it's just that he's an idiot. Like I just had no idea because we have seen flashes of brilliance, absolute brilliance from that guy, and then we've seen absolute high levels of fuckwittery that honestly, like I can't. Look, he fell over the ball at Newcastle. Seriously, the ball was placed with. He fell over the ball. How do you fall over a ball?
That I can forgive, but what I don't forgive is when you see the trudge around the pitch when things ain't going right, and it's you're not a target to be hit. You're supposed to be a fast-paced, quick-thinking winger. That was why he was brought in. He did look good from where he was bought. When we got him from Lille, he was a cracking player. There ain't no question about that. I mean, we spent a lot, 72 million. They absolutely saw Arsenal coming on that one.
We talked about putting him as a striker. We talked about changing him, putting him on the left, the whole thing, just trying to make him fit.
About that. I said he needs to be put on a bus and sent somewhere. Because the moment I see him in his first season, the one thing I remember you and I saying, I was like, the only word I could think of with him was lightweight. And I didn't mean like actually in the sense of because he's a skinny lad, but he was just brushed off left, right, and centre. And the defenders of the Premier League they eat that for breakfast.
They brutalised him. They brutalised him.
They didn't even need to brutalise him, did they? When he was getting lumped, he was just getting shoved off, and it weren't happening. I mean, there has been some interest for him. Leeds, Sevilla. In January, Newcastle were interested in him, but I don't know whether Newcastle were looking at maybe a bit further up the wage bill. Now, not sure, but what I would say is that he is a left-footed winger.
Yeah,
he is quick. He has 34 international caps, 9 goals, which is not a bad record. So you can sell on that. I think
it's going to be a loan. I think it's going to be a loan. Hopefully,
I don't think mid-rid.
Ain't going to happen. I can't see anybody coming in because I think it would take 20-30 million, and it'd be off the books. But I just can't see that happening. I just think a loan is going to. I think a loan is some sort of dogs decided to go mad.
But putting him out on loan is just watching his transfer value go down and down.
But mate, if you're buying, then great. I can't see anybody coming in for him. I just can't at the minute. So, but
that's what I think. If you do it now, right? I mean, he's 27.
Jesus,
if say he goes out on loan for another year, he's 28, right?
Yeah.
India, you're actually like engineering it to a point where nobody's going to pay anything for him. I mean, he joined in 2019, and he is on a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
So that expires in 24. They've got to get rid of him before the end of next season. Otherwise, again, you've got another bloody problem. Can't keep letting these players get to a year left.
But we're not going to get anywhere near what we paid for him. So
you just got at this point you've got to write it off.
Otherwise, off the wage bills.
Well, otherwise this becomes like having pictures of your partner's ex around the house. It's not You don't need it. It's
So it's not
is
healthy.
he's a
It's not healthy.
symbol. He is a symbol of bad times. He's a symbol of
Yes.
bad buys. Just looking
Yeah.
at the guy makes you miserable, and he just.
Someone needs to feed him up as well, because honestly, he's stick thin. Anyway, I think we're of the opinion he's out the door. There was some interest from France as well. There's a talk about, where did we get him from? Is it Marseille?
Lille.
It wasn't Marseille. Lille.
Lille.
So there's talk of him going back to Lille again, but they haven't got any money anyway. So
I mean, Lille always just sounds like an old woman that lives down the road. But
as a, yeah,
we're going to send in a Lille.
Yeah. Yes, and a Lille cup of tea and feed the cats.
Yeah. So just to make you feel better about Pepe, 14,224 minutes played.
Wow. How much is that a minute? Don't tell me how much that is a minute. Seriously, how much is it? No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Do you know what? No, I've got that equation wrong. Got that equation wrong. He earned £14,224 a minute.
Sake. Jesus.
Good work if you can get it.
Yeah, I'll sit on my ass on the bench. I don't mind doing that. I'll take the abuse from the fans.
He earns 7.28 million a year.
Yeah,
he needs to got no loans. Just get him off the books.
Excellent.
Get him off the books, and then scratch out anything that's got his name on it.
Yeah, burn it. If we can't burn it, if you can't scratch it, burn it. Yeah.
Someone said, "Do you remember Pepe?" He's just like, I don't know
who?
What you're talking about. Who?
Yeah,
Who?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Move on. Moving quickly on from all of that.
Okay, someone I actually like, but it's just it's a position on the pitch where things can change quickly. That's Leno.
Oh, yes, that big mistake on that one. I think. Hear me out on this. Right. So we're going for Tielemans, right? So we're going for Tielemans. That's who we're apparently that's what we're in for, and I think it's a good buy. I think we'll just have a quick chat about that towards the end. So Tielemans is actually spot on, right? Schmeichel's just gone to where's he gone to? I think he's gone over to Italy, whatever. So they've just sold Schmeichel. They're looking for a goalie at this moment in time. We've got a World Cup goalie in Leno, and I understand he doesn't want to play backup in a World Cup year. So we've got Leno, right? Why the hell is nobody turning around and saying to Leicester, "I tell you what, here's a goalie for you that's world class. It's really, really good. You need one, and let's get a bit of a discount on Tielemans." Except we sell him for $8 million to Fulham.
It makes nothing.
Sorry.
Who's Leicester's number 2?
No idea. But they're looking for goalies at the moment. They're actively out hunting and scouting for goalies.
Kind of.
Around the street. Is that a goalie over there somewhere? Yeah, so that's kind of actively going. Yeah, they have armies roaming the streets looking for you a goalie. Yeah.
Well, Daniel Everson. No idea. Okay, so Leno's played 125 games, right?
Yeah.
And they've all come in the first couple of years of his contract, haven't they? And
then
Ramsdale's done for him, basically.
Yeah.
The problem with being a goalkeeper, as Joe Hart found out, and he's not the only one, but he's the one that springs to mind for me.
Yeah.
The game has changed massively for goalkeepers.
Yes.
To the point now that where if Ramsdale isn't careful, if his distribution doesn't become better, he'll find himself in the same boat.
No more Saka ball. There's going to be no more Saka ball this season, I hope. That's what I'm hoping.
You just got to stop lumping it. Goalkeepers don't do that anymore. Not at the very top echelon. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. It doesn't work. So Leno, see, for all the best will in the world, I can absolutely see why Leno was signed. If you look at his Leverkusen record, he played 304 games and kept 100 clean sheets.
Yeah, which is really good comparison to what we had before.
Clean sheets, 1 in 3. That is immense.
Yes.
There's rumour Fulham want him, and it sounds like there is an $8 million deal looks to be going through.
Yeah.
which would be good because his market value is 8.1. So we'd actually be doing good business for once.
He needs to play. And he needs to play. The bloke needs to play. And Fulham do actually need a goalie because they can't stop leaking goals left, right, and centre.
I mean, Fulham is shit, mate.
But I still think, yeah, Craven Cottage does look like a bloody cricket ground.
Where's Craven Cottage?
West Craven Cottage, yeah, there's a huge amount of murders going on there.
Murder of football.
Yeah, but you got to look at it, right? You got to look at it. It wouldn't make sense to actually be talking to Leicester and saying, "Hey, look, we've got this really cool goalie right now. We want to buy this midfielder off you. How about we get a bit of a discount? Take 8 million off, take the goalie. Do something like that. Why not do that? Or maybe they've tried it and Leicester have said, and also, let's face it, we all want to drop kick Brendan Rodgers anyway. So big, big jaw and stuff, but
giant face.
yes, second only to what's his name, Sam Allardyce. From the head size perspective, it's huge, great cranium.
Just makes me angry.
Anyway, we're diverted off now. We're diverted off. So it wouldn't make sense to me.
In that sense, if that deal's going to, if the Tielemans deal was going to be done, because they're talking about 30 million for Tielemans, then possibly I think that could work. If they need a goalkeeper, Leno's a good goalkeeper. There ain't no question about that. He's on 5.2 million a year. And 5-year contract. We gave him 1 year left. Have to get rid of him now. It's absolutely no ifs or buts. Yeah. He 125 games he played, 145 conceded and 37 clean sheets, 11,197 minutes. He's not had a terrible Arsenal record.
No,
I don't think.
And he's been professional. Absolutely professional.
Let's spin that coin. £36,173 a minute.
It's the wheel of fortune. Just keep rolling it around at the Arsenal.
The wheel of misfortune.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so Leno, Fulham, I think is where he's going.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Mari.
Off to Celtic apparently, and Murray's come out and he's turned around and said that he's what's he turned around and said? He's going to fight for his place. I tell you what, fuck off and fight for your place somewhere else, pal. There's ain't no place for you. What part of "we don't want you" are you not hearing? Take your 6'2", lanky, whatever it is. Keep walking, pal, and just everyone said that for some reason Celtic wanted. It's like, why? Why would you want that idiot?
I mean, look. He's got the whiff of Edu about him.
Yeah. Barbecue-y whiff.
He come from Flamengo.
Flamingos, yeah.
And Flamengo got him from City.
Yeah.
He's been to 9 clubs in 12 years.
Yeah. So journeyman.
Says it all.
Move on from him.
We've loaned him out to Udinese. Where he wasn't doing too badly, but again, this is where I start to go. All right, this is where business starts going a little bit awry. 4.42 million a year in wages.
No,
that's insane.
Yeah,
he's not very good. Don't get me wrong, he's better than me, but that is not
Wes
the
Brown.
bar.
He's better than Wes Brown.
Yeah.
Now,
Wes Brown with his carrot-coloured skin,
and Mikel Silvestre. He's better than Mikel Silvestre when we got him. But
Mikel Silvestre was a shame because at one point Mikel Silvestre was a good player when he played.
Not when we got him, mate. He was awful.
No. When we got him, he'd clearly been in some kind of brain damage, car accident or something.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
He's out of contract. He's out of contract now, so we won't get any money for him.
Who is Murray? Oh, good.
So,
off you go. Bye-bye.
He is actually a free agent.
Good.
So,
good.
But again, let's spin the wheel of money. 1,944 minutes, 1 goal. I'm sure it was a belter. Somebody will have to remind me what that was because I don't remember. We bought him for 5.4 million. So that is £5,051 a minute.
To forget that. Oh my God.
Not the worst, but still not great. Still not great. Okay, so that's those guys. We've got Hector.
Time for Hector to go. So Hector wants Betis. Betis don't have any money. Time for Hector to give up a bit of money. Go to Betis. He deserves it. He deserves it. We need to look after him. I think he's been an absolute legend for the club. But for that man, it's time for him to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one of these where it's written straight off the books. So this is the kind of people you do need to get rid of. As much as you want someone coming from the very bottom of the structure of the pyramid and coming all the way up.
We can't. But this
is good business.
But
it comes straight off. There's no.
What are you going to get for him? What are you going to get for him? He's come back from a cruise. He hasn't come back correct from his cruciate injury. He's
got a market value of 18 million.
18 million.
18.
Who's come up with that?
That's the going rate for him.
Okay.
Which, again, I think he's got 1 year left on his contract. And this is, again, where crappy business. 2018, he had a market value of 36 million. They should have sold him then.
Yeah.
I know that you've got hindsight. It's a beautiful thing and stuff like that. But
it's a bit of foresight. The idea is that from a team perspective. So from a team perspective, actually from a business perspective, and this is where I think the naivety of the Cronkies, which I find incredible considering they run these many franchises out in the US. I'd have thought they'd been on it like no one's, and getting and moving these. We just need to be a bit more brutal, I think, with it. But the fact is, especially with that guy, he has been through some of the good years, but a lot of shit years. We need to make, actually, I believe, just out of decency, we need to make sure that he can move on and that actually he gets to fulfill the last part of his playing career at a team that he wants to be at. I mean, there's no doubt he loves Arsenal. And he's one of the rare ones.
I get all that. I mean, I don't really give a shit if he likes where he's going, but I just think it's a business. Look, at the end of the day, I know what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But the guy's earning 5.72 million a year, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not feel sorry for him.
Fuck him. Okay. Sell him to whoever will pay him.
Basically, yeah. He said he'll drop his wages for a move to Betis. Let him go. Let him pay the 18 million or even a cut down price because he's like an injury magnet. And I mean, what have we got out of him? We've got 239 games, 9 goals, 29 assists. He's won 3
Only 9 goals. Wow.
Yeah, only 9 goals. Right back, 5-year contract. He got 4 caps for Spain whilst he's been at Arsenal. Both parties have done all right. I'd say he's done more than all right for himself. And also benefiting from Arsenal's system coming up. Yeah, he should have been sold 5 years ago. They shouldn't have given him a new contract. They should have cashed in.
Different game, different Arsenal, different setup now. And I think he's out the door. I like him. I like the bloke.
I think there's some players that are still there on sentimentality.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
He's not really been part of that team for a couple of years, and I think the Cruciate took all of his pace out of him, took everything out of him because he is actually a good defender.
He's a good player. There ain't no doubt that. Ain't no question about that. He is a good player. The issue is he just doesn't fit into what's being done.
Look what I've just had delivered.
Yeah. I need to get your postman. I just think, again, we don't have to look at the pounds per minute on this one because he's come up through the ranks, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's business should have been done better there. If they are homegrown talents,
you can see a common theme.
Be sold off.
Yeah, you see a common theme, I think, from the scouting network perspective. I mean, it looks like we're trying to buy the whole of the Brazilian football team to come and play here via Edu. But I think at this moment in time, yeah, that's the one area we talked about at the beginning of the show. We really need to push that. We really need to get tight
Brazilian
on
players
that.
don't have a massively good record in this country.
That's true.
And so I don't know where this is coming from. Yeah,
Well,
I know
Edu,
that Edu. Well, I know he has a contact and all of that jazz, but thinking that they're from Brazil, so they must be good. Yeah, they probably are good, but they might not be good here.
Yeah. It's Marquinhos is going to be an interesting one as well, with him, and I think he's going to be a topic for another show. So of course he's out the door. So what's the last one? Who's the one that's left then?
Reiss Nelson.
My one that I think we shouldn't sell. I genuinely believe we shouldn't sell it.
Like nobody's interested in him in any way. Let me just
who did from what I saw today, let's have a quick look. From what I saw today, there is actually a few that are looking at him right now. But I think it's going to be one of those mad dash at the end of the window as it starts to close to get a better deal.
He was at Feyenoord on loan, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he
didn't start too well.
4 goals, 7 assists, 32 games. Not bad.
And then finished up quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's another one of them. He is a good player, but I mean, you could have him there as backup.
I think as a squad player, having that sort of talent, I think he would be absolutely outstanding to have in the team. I think he's a good player. I think he's got the capabilities to go on and do well. But as you say, maybe the clearing. Yeah,
he's only on 78k a year. 780k a year. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Is that all? Okay. Well, fair dues. But I think from his perspective, there is an opportunity to actually become quite a good player. But I just think I don't think Arteta fancies him. I don't think Arteta wants him, and I think they're going to sell him to make space in the squad for someone else. I genuinely do.
From a point of business, they'll have to because he's got 1 year left.
Yes. Yeah. Or extend his contract. Extend his contracts and they're done with it.
No,
mate. 780k a year. 780k a year.
Rubbish.
Well,
who's 5 subs in the corner? He's been sat underneath there for ages. Who is it? Oh, it's Reiss Nelson. Christ, this is still here.
Yeah, it's 5 subs, isn't it? It's 5 subs. He's an English player. He's come through the academy. I think he's got the skills and talent to what we need when we're going League Cup, when we're doing FA Cup, whatever we're doing, and we don't want to put everybody through it at Macclesfield.
Yeah, no, I get that. He's got a market value of 5.8 million. He's only 22. So there is improvement possibly. Arsenal do like to give players a chance. They need to make a decision.
I think he's out the door. I think he's going to. I would like him to stay, but I think he's out the door. If I'm honest with you.
Okay.
So that's so from our perspective, they should go on. Oh no, come on, the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, it is the Wheel of Fortune. So just if we were to sell those players hypothetically, at their market values,
which we won't, but
and including their wages and transfers, what it would have is it would be 85.95 million in transfer fees. It would be 34.5 million a year in wages off of the bill. So it's a total of 120 million.45.
That puts into context the 150 we've spent.
And it puts into context 150 spent, and it also says why you need to sell players.
Better. We need to be stronger with it. In the same way Chelsea have been.
Ruthless. You need to be ruthless, because if they are not doing anything for you right now, they're probably not gonna. And do for them, give them the opportunity to improve somewhere else. Because there's no point in them sitting about gathering dust. Yeah.
Well, Mare being one of them, please. Well, he's out of contract, so he's gone anyway, whatever happened. So we're good. But listen, mate, we're coming close to the end of the show right now.
Okay.
So, and that was an interest for you. I want to just touch on one quick one before we kind of close up. Tielemans,
I don't finish
now,
fine.
don't you?
No, he's got the whiff of an absolute flop.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
So
I know
who's
this is
going
a
to
hot
back?
take, but I don't. I've been looking at it. Been looking
Yeah.
through his career up to date, and he's a great player. There is no question. But he's one of them. There's a great player on his day,
Right.
and Arsenal really doesn't need on his day players. They need consistent 7 out of 10 performers.
So who's good? So I sort of envisioned him doing the Thomas Partey role, being that sort of facilitator in the middle of the
Are we
field.
allowed to say his name?
Let's not even go into that area. So,
no. I'm not come here for that conversation.
Yeah, that's the conversation with someone else. But no, I just sort of see him as the Thomas Partey kind of role where you've got Odegaard bombing forward, Thomas Partey sort of facilitating the players that sit behind.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do. That's where I see him.
He's more
You
of an
know
attacking midfielder.
You think so? I just think he could do the holding part. And then Granit Xhaka, and where does he fit within all of this as well?
Well, this has happened more than once with some Arsenal players at times, where things all turn against them, and then by the end of that particular season, they seem to have turned it around, and the fans are not so unhappy with them anymore. Get rid.
What, you reckon of Xhaka?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know everything you're thinking right now. Like, oh well, yeah, but who do we put in his place? He's an experienced player.
You can replace him. You can replace him.
But what does he bring? Really? Yes, he is a good player, but I mean, I don't forgive him for what happened at City.
No.
I
I thought
that's a disgrace. Not just because he was sent off, but because there were young players in that team that were getting battered by a City team. Let's be honest, let Arsenal off the hook at 5.
Yeah.
They needed their captain there to protect them. They needed the experienced heads to try and get them to not let in a hatful of goals. He let them down badly, and I would still stand by the fact that I think he got himself sent off on purpose.
Yeah, he didn't fancy it, did he?
It looked that way. Now, you can't... for me personally, I think you can get sent off for a really horrendous challenge. I think you can make decisions in a game where they can cost you the game, I can forgive all of those things because they're part of professional sport. I don't forgive that. Okay.
Well, okay. Well, let's. It's good to see you getting down off the fence on that one, John.
I can't. He's a good player, but is he genuinely what Arsenal need right now?
Yeah, I think in the short term he will be. But you got to look at backup players like Mohamed Elneny. Did you turn around and think, well, he'd be there for another year? I didn't think it, but he's obviously he's worked hard at it. So hopefully we can see a change. But so what we're going to do is we're going to finish off on one little bit. Predictions for Friday. Predictions for Friday, mate. What do you think the score's going to be? Seeing as we're flying high, I know everybody thinks that the whole world has come to an end because we lost to Brentford to a second-string team behind closed doors. But on that, how are you feeling about Friday? First game of the season. Where do you think we're going to be?
I think it'll be 3-1 Arsenal. I think 2 Jesus goals.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be a good performance. It does have the whiff of that Brentford game last year because it's Palace of that sort of side. This is a Palace with no Conor Gallagher. This is a Palace that are got kind of little bit reinvent themselves as well. It depends how crafty they are. Vieira's no Margie's now in his second year.
Yeah,
Palace, we'll see. He may go out to stifle, but this is a different Arsenal side. This is not the same Arsenal side.
And we've got unfinished business. I believe there's unfinished business with those guys. They gave us a spanking at theirs. I don't think we're not going to have the same COVID issues we had before. I genuinely believe I'm with you. 3-1 is where it's going to end. I think we're going to I think we're going to dominate. I think we're going to dominate from the midfield. You're absolutely right. They haven't got Conor Gallagher. Zaha can roll around all he wants, but genuinely, I believe that this is a different team. It's a different mindset, and it's going to set us on the right trajectory, mate.
Football is all about momentum.
Yeah.
It's winning is a habit, as losing is. So I think they need to make as strong a start as possible without stating the obvious. But it's the first game of the season is win by any means necessary. Doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. It's away at Palace. It'll be difficult. Yeah. Get in there, get the points, get the goal, get out, move on.
And if you're about on Friday, Sean, I will be in the Kestrel down in Basingstoke. For any of our fans out there, if you are in the Basingstoke area, we will be in the Kestrel in Basingstoke, giving it some large. So, Sean, I want to say a massive. Oh, by the way, that 3-1 was not my prediction. That was Arsenal Cat's prediction. It was Arsenal Cat.
Okay.
Arsenal Cat came back and said that one, and we'll have some more from Arsenal Cat next week. So again, Sean, mate, you're a legend. Absolutely looking forward to this season, working with you all the way through, part of the Over and Over Again network. Thanks for everything. Thanks to everybody that's out there. Thanks to everybody that's going to be listening to the recording of this. We'll be back next Tuesday with something a little bit similar and maybe a few guests.